Okay, dear students, once again, a very warm welcome to our module FAC 2601, where we deal with various aspects relating to financial accounting for companies. We trust that you will enjoy the journey with us and that upon successful completion of this module will be beneficial for your future studies. So just by way of introduction, my name is Frank Montgomery. I am one of the lecturers involved in this module, teaching it you during the semester. I am based at the Makkelneuk main campus in the Simon Rade Perry building, office 231. My personal email address as well as contact number at office. My colleagues assisting me on this module is Mr. Alfred Baloyi, the module responsible lecturer for the module, and Mr. Andre Iseli. Now, normally the best way to get in contact with us is we do have a dedicated mailbox for our module, which is fac2601@unisa.ac.za. So if you need to get in touch with us, drop us an email. One of us is always on duty there during the week, and we will try our best to get back to you within 24 hours upon receiving your message. So please dot this down somewhere, remember it by heart, so that you can get in contact with us quickly and easily at our dedicated email address for the module. So all that I'm going to quickly look at today, as far as this session is concerned, is how to approach the module FAC 2601, provide you with a bit of a guided tour through the resources available to you, provide you with some house rules for our model during the semester, a quick recap of the study material that we'll be utilizing, reference to MyUnisa, which you should know by now is our online learning system that we utilize, some student support services that are available, and how you will be assessed during the semester to determine whether you will successfully complete Model FAC 2601 at the end of the semester. So, how do you prepare for FAC 2601? We all know at the beginning it might seem daunting. You might be a little bit overwhelmed by the total content that is available on our module site. That is natural. If something is new and strange, we are all a little bit scared, not sure how to proceed, and we are all sure or not sure what might happen if you make the wrong decisions. So there's always some pitfalls that you need to look out for before you can get to the good part with regards to our module. So what I'll quickly try to identify is how to go about in approaching and preparing to be successful in Module 2601 to avoid any pitfalls and get to that little cheese at the end of the semester being a successful completion of FAC 2601. Well, the best is you have to start early. Unfortunately, there is a certain number of lesson tools, a certain content that needs to be mastered, and one has to progress during the semester by diligently working through all the relevant study components available for our module. So the sooner one starts, the better. And you would have seen by now already that there was an announcement posted with a proposed study plan. So the best will be if one can stick to that study plan, because then you can continuously manage your progress in the module to ensure that you are adequately prepared come assessment time. So the sooner you start, obviously, the better. Know your terminology. Yes, we all know it's a little bit boring to read through everything. Unfortunately, if you don't know the terminology off by heart, you won't be able to cover the practical part in drafting financial statements, in answering specific questions relating to accounting standards. So it is vitally important that you start off by working through the relevant terminology and ensure that you know the terminology 120% in order to be properly prepared to progress further in each and every lesson tool. So that will be the first part of a lesson tool is to get the terminology relating to that specific accounting standard covered in the lesson tool, to have that properly sorted out before you continue with any examples or questions provided in the lesson tool. You will have to practice regularly. Okay, obviously, as you would have seen in the study plan, there's certain weeks allocated to specific lesson tools. During that week, you have to cover the terminology. Once you've mastered the terminology, is to practice all the examples and questions attached to that specific topic covered in the lesson tool. So you'll have to work through those examples, work through the questions, know that you can apply the terminology practically and understand the outcome of each and every example and question provided in a specific lesson tool. That is the only way that one can be sure that you will master a lesson tool successfully. We all make mistakes along the way, and we will continue to make mistakes. It is unfortunately a part of life. But by making mistakes, it's actually a good thing because you learn from those mistakes to ensure that you don't make the same mistake again. So if you work through a specific example and you get to a different solution, go back to your terminology and determine why did you get a different solution. Compare it with the example or question that you work through and see where the differences between your solution and the suggested solution lies. From that, you can determine what is the mistake involved in your solution and learn from this process to ensure that you don't make the same mistake come assessment and exam time, because then it is a crucial part where marks are allocated for correct solutions. So by regularly practicing, knowing your terminology and learning from your mistakes, you can ensure that you eliminate those come exam and assessment time. If you still can't get to where you went wrong or what your specific mistake might be, ask questions. Get involved by sending us email to the dedicated email box or engaging with any of us other communication options available that I will discuss shortly with you. But it is important to ask. Don't get stuck. Don't get behind on your progress. Immediately, if something is not clear and you can't resolve it from the available study material or resources, ask so that it can be cleared up and ensure that you know where the issue might have been in your solution in order to successfully continue forward with the specific lesson tool to ensure that you perfectly understand the terminology and the practical application of that specific component in the lesson tool. So very important, don't be shy. Ask questions if anything is not clear. So how does this whole puzzle fit into each other in approaching module FAC 2601? As I've said, this is just in basic what we suggest, the process you go through, but then practically putting all the pieces together to solve the puzzle at the end of the semester. The step we suggest you follow is, first of all, identify the specific learning outcomes for the lesson tool that you are busy with during a specific week. Work through the lesson tool online. In other words, ensure that you are on top of the terminology first, as we've already indicated. Then study all examples and questions to ensure it is understood. Measure against your assessment criteria to see if you are able to match the specific learning outcomes for that lesson tool. If not, go back to the sections that are not covered or still not clear to identify where you went wrong. And as we've said, if you can't solve it yourself from the available information and resources, ask those questions so that we can try and assist in helping you to solve a specific issue that you might encounter within a lesson tool. As far as the guided tour of your material is concerned, your manual here is tutorial letter 101. You will see your tutorial letter 101 under your official study material on our module site. It was also uploaded under your additional resources, so it can be accessed directly on our module site. The key points within tutorial letter 101 is the module overview, what we are trying to achieve with the module, which basically is to cover setting accounting standards and how to draft financial statements according to those accounting standards and how to solve questions and issues relating to those accounting standards as far as company financial statements are concerned. We provide you with purpose and outcomes for the module, which is part of the module overview. In other words, all those learning outcomes, which you will also find in each and every individual lesson tool as well. What is a specific learning outcome associated with a lesson tool? And then in overall, what is the learning outcome we are trying to achieve through the module Financial Accounting for Companies? The relevant lecturers that I've already identified, you will also find, as well as the contact details on page 8 to 9. There are some module-related resources, which I'll touch on as well in this session, that you can have a look at on page 9 to 10. There are certain student support services available, which you can look at and identify on page 10 to 13. Also have a look at the requirement of academic integrity course on page 14 to ensure that the processes we go through in assessment specifically is fair towards all students involved in this process. So specifically read up on issues regarding plagiarism, which is not tolerated at all by UNISA. And then finally, from page 15 to 19, it provides you with some guidance on how to study and the assessments that we will have for module FAC 2601. So if you haven't consulted yet with tutorial letter 101, make sure maybe that you run through tutorial 101 before actually starting with engagement with the study material as such on the module site. As far as house rules is concerned, we always need to respect each other, consider other opinions. We might see things differently. We might have a different approach in solving issues. So if somebody posts a question, for example, somewhere, don't shoot the person down. Don't make negative comments. Let us all work together, not to criticize anyone, but to uphold and uphold the respect for each other, and understand that we might have different opinions regarding certain issues, but that we work together in getting a middle ground where we all can agree on the way to approach and resolve issues that we might encounter during the semester. As for if you require any feedback from us, just allow us reasonable time. As I said, on the mailbox itself, we normally try to respond within 24 hours within the week. Over the weekend, obviously, it's not possible to do that, but we will get back to you early on a Monday morning. If you need to make an appointment, just make sure that you make a booking with the specific lecturer. Always bear in mind, we can only assist with academic content. In other words, if you have issues with your registration, issues to get access to the module site, unfortunately, we can't assist with that. There are specific divisions that can assist you with that. So you can ask us for we can just provide you with details of who to contact, but we as such can't assist with that. We can only provide you with answers with regards to issues you have with specifically academic content for our module. And very important is to comply with due dates. As far as assessments is concerned, I will also have a quick look at the due dates for our assessments, but you need to comply with those due dates. There won't be any extensions granted. Those due dates are in the academic calendar. They are fixed. They can't be moved. They can't be changed. So if you can't comply with those due dates, unfortunately, it will result in a 0 mark allocated for any assessment not completed within the due date time. Your study material consists of tutorial letter 101, your manual, which you've already addressed, the lesson tools, which you will find online on your module site. There's a tutorial letter 102, which contains additional questions and solutions relating to all the different lesson tools. So once you've covered the specific lesson tool, you can also go then to this tutorial letter 102, identify the relevant questions and work through those as well to ensure that you have properly mastered a lesson tool. You will require a financial calculator, as we will intensively and specifically use it during the discussion of leases and financial instruments. And you would have seen already an announcement posted last week regarding financial calculator requirements. And obviously your site, MyUnisa on Moodle, where we'll find your or our specific module site, as seeing that all the study material will only be made available online on this MyUnisa site on Moodle. No hard copies available, only online material available for FAC 2601. As I've said, this is on MyUnisa. Our online portal is FAC 2601 for year 2026. And it's for semester 1. So that is the relevant site number where you'll find all your study material. On here, as I've said, you will find your study material as well, already identified on the previous slide. Another way of communication, as you will see on our site, there's a discussion forum. So if you've got any question or issue, you can post it there. Other students can engage and maybe provide you with answers or experiences that they've had relating to a specific issue, and we will also get involved in assisting to resolve any issues that you might have. You will see there's a tab for additional resources, so any additional resources that we make available, we will upload under the additional resources tab. By now, you would have seen quite a number of announcements coming through already, so just make sure that your MyLife email account is up and running, because all announcements go to this MyLife account. If you might have missed any of those, you can still then go to the announcement tab, open that tab, and you will see all the announcements that has been posted up to date. There will also be a selection of videos made available, whether those being YouTube videos regarding or relating to specific accounting standards, which we upload, and we, in the attempt to better explain the terminology surrounding an accounting standard. And you would have seen also that yesterday an announcement went out to indicate that we will be presenting weekly classes on all lesson tools. And these videos will be recorded and then also uploaded to our module site. As far as student support is concerned, face-to-face tutors are appointed and administered by regional centers. We are not involved in that process, so please contact your closest regional center and inquire whether they do have a FAC 2601 lecturer. Otherwise, obviously, you can also maybe search online for private tutors available to assist you with the teaching of this module. We will have discussions, as I've said, on the discussion forum, and we'll have the lectures via Teams, as I've indicated in the announcement that was posted regarding our weekly classes. We've already discussed our dedicated module mailbox, where you can then post any questions or queries that you have. And then, as I've said, your discussion forum available on MyUnisa, where you can post any issues that you might encounter regarding the academic content of the study material. Then, if we get to our assessments, the assessments is available as well on specific tabs on our site. We also have a breakdown of the assessments on the site under the lesson tool 0. Basically comprises, first of all, 2 assessments. Assessment 1 is scheduled for 18 March 2026 between 12 in the afternoon and 9 in the evening. And this will contribute 15% towards your year mark. So important thing here, as I've said, you have to comply with due dates. You can only attempt this on 18 March 2026. It will only become available from 12 in the afternoon, not a minute before that time. It will open up on the My Module site, but there will be a link on the My Module site as these assessments are conducted on the My Exam sites. There will be a link taking you to My Exams, but it will only become available on My Exams from 12 o'clock onwards. The first assessment is a multiple choice questionnaire where you will be presented with a certain number of questions and you will have a 2-hour time period to complete the assessment. So even though the session runs from 12 in the afternoon until 9 in the evening, you will only require 2 hours to complete, meaning you can sign up at any time between 12 and 9 in the evening, 12 in the afternoon and 9 in the evening. Once you start with the assessment, you will have 2 hours to complete. So once the 2 hours run out, the assessment will close again, whether you are finished or not. So it needs to be completed within 2 hours. And for the first assessment, you will be provided with 2 opportunities, meaning if you sign in immediately at 12, once you are done or once 2 o'clock comes around, the first part has expired, your first attempt has expired, you can then re-enter again and do a second attempt. And the highest mark will be taken to contribute towards the 15% for the year mark. So again, just to recap, on 18 March 2026, anytime from 12 in the afternoon until 9 in the evening, you need to sign in. You have 2 hours to complete the assessment, and you will be allowed 2 attempts. So if you are only able to sign in, or you only sign in at 8 in the evening, you will only have obviously 1 attempt available to you, and you will only have 1 hour to complete. Very important, stick to the due dates and times. Assessment 2 is due on the 10th of April 2026, and specific time, it will open at 12:45, it will close at 14:10. You won't have multiple or 2 attempts because the difference here being on the MCQ, each student will get a unique assessment as questions are randomized. With regards to assessment 2, this is a written assessment, meaning that the same information is provided to all students. Therefore, we can't allow a big time allocation as well as 2 attempts. Everyone needs to sign in at 12:45 and be done by 10 minutes past 2. This assessment will contribute 30% towards your year mark. Assessment 3 is due on 20 April, again the same time, 12:45 to 14:10. This also contributes 30% because important here, this is an elective assessment only available for qualifying students. So meaning if you did not write assessment 2, you won't automatically gain entrance to this assessment. You will need to apply. The qualifying students will be only those that missed the second assessment due to illness and they have produced a valid sick note. Or for those of you working and not able to get off work, an employer's letter needs to be produced for assessment 2 that you weren't able to do the assessment in the allocated time. And only those students will be allowed to write assessment 3. So it is an elective, but not for all students, only for qualifying students. And future will also provide you with an announcement of all the details of how to apply and what will be considered as a qualifying student. As mentioned, basically illness or work commitments. One has to achieve a year mark of 40% to be admitted to the exam. So the mark for assessment 1 and 2 combined, you should have an average of at least 40% in order to be admitted to the exam. If not, you won't be admitted to write the exam, meaning a failure of the module. As far as the final exam is concerned, The date will still be confirmed by exams closer to the time, but it will be normally during the May-June examination period. The exam will contribute the remaining 55%. Remember, assessment 1 15, assessment 2 45, 30, in total 45%. Now the exam will contribute the remaining 55%. In the exam, you will also require to achieve at least 40% for the exam paper in order for the year mark to contribute. So even if you have a year mark of, say, 80%, but you don't get 40% in the exam, the year mark falls away, unfortunately. You still require at least 40% in the exam. All assessments are conducted online only, as I've indicated, so it will be on the My Exams portal, but you will again receive proper and announcements well in advance before the assessment dates. There will be specific proctoring requirements that you need to comply with to ensure that we curb any potential plagiarism. Once again, look out for an announcement regarding this, as what type of proctoring will be used and what you should do from your side to comply with this. Assessment 1, as I've said, will be an MCQ format. Assessment 2 and the elective 3 for qualifying students will be a written format. Very important is only handwritten assessments will be accepted, no typed assessments. So you can't type on Excel, you can't type on Word and then just convert it to a PDF. It needs to be handwritten, then scanned into PDF format before submission. Okay, as I said again, just check announcement regularly, as all of this will be repeated once we get closer to an assessment date, providing with all the rules and regulations surrounding that specific assessment. And that is it for our session today. Thank you. I hope everything is clear. If not, you are more than welcome to get in touch with us. Thank you so much and all the best for this semester.